Welcome back to the Kimi Kato show. We just went out with Just Like Honey by the Jesus and Mary Chain. Some of you might remember from the movie Lost in Translation. This song plays during the final moments of the movie where Bob and Charlotte part ways in the city of Tokyo. The song adds a poignant and memorable touch to the ending. And we just came back with the song Sukiyaki, which I have aired before on our show. Sukiyaki is the international title of the song Ue o Muite Aruko, which translates to I Look Up as I Walk. The song was performed by Japanese singer Q Sakamoto and released in 1961. It became a worldwide hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts in the United States. The song reflects themes of looking up and staying positive despite sorrow and challenges, and one of the songs that symbolized post-war reconstruction. So, Takato-san, can you introduce Japanese whiskey to our listeners?
Thank you, Kimi-san. So, first of all, our whiskey making has a long history. So, our first distillery was established in 1923. So, actually, 101 years ago. The last year, 2023, was our 100-year anniversary of whiskey making. But anyway, so our whiskey was established in 1923 in Yamazaki, which is the oldest whiskey distillery in Japan. Because before that, there was no, whiskey distilleries.
And sorry to interrupt. It's in Kyoto, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So if you ever go to Kyoto, you might want to visit
Yeah.
the Yamazaki
It's
district.
very famous for the, beautiful and clean water. So as you might know, like Senno Rikyu, the master of the tea ceremony, he found his, first tea party room in Yamazaki because it's very famous for the beautiful water. So yeah, anyway, so we have a long history. So the history starts from 1923, and our founder's name was called Shinjiro Tori. Shinjiro established Yamazaki District because he really loved whiskey. Before that, there was no whiskey, there was no gin, there was no vodka. Actually, there was no spirits. But you know, Shinjiro really loved Western spirits culture. So what he thought was, let's make it by myself. And he started Yamazaki Distillery and then released first product called Shirofuda, which is kind of Scotch style, smoky, bold, powerful whiskey. It's a little bit young whiskey, and it was completely failed. Nobody liked Shirofuda. It was terrible sales because it was too advanced for the Japanese people at that time. Because as you think about the palate, at that time, Japanese people eat rice, miso soup, and the fish. But on the other hand, the Western culture eats like bread, butter, meat. So the taste profile is very different. So he thought, Scotch style is the most popular whiskey all over the world, but he thought we need to make it by our own house style, which is subtle, refined, yet complex. So if you compare with any other like the whiskey, American whiskey or Scotch whiskey, Irish, Japanese whiskey, especially our whiskey is more very delicate and smooth because we like to capture Japanese palate like sushi or tempura, subtle, refined, yet complex. So yeah, that's a kind of quick history of Japanese whiskey.
I like
That's
it.
very interesting.
I like the subtle, refined, and yet complex. I mean,
Yes.
you're like,
Yeah.
it's almost ironic, you know?
It is smooth. It is. And how much does the water play into that?
Oh, sorry, say that again.
That clean water and the flavor and that smooth.
Yes. So, for example, the bourbon productions, it happens mostly in Kentucky, which is famous for limestone water. So, which has a lot of, famous for a lot of rich calciums. Because, to make a bourbon, the powerful whiskey, that kind of calcium makes some kind of complexity and then some powerful, taste profile is coming from that, calcium rich water. On the other hand, Japan, we use, very smooth, I mean, very smooth and pure water. So it's not like, you know, great for the very, powerful whiskey because the water itself has very pure and smooth, but it can create very smooth whiskey, which we like. It makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. That's probably why I liked it so much.
And also like environment is also very different. So, Japan is located in the east side of the Asia, it's island. So like it rains all the time, especially Yamazaki. There are three rivers of Kiso River. Sorry, there are three rivers, and then all three rivers has a different water resources. So the temperature is different. That's why it's so foggy. And every
Wow.
every time I go there, it's kind of raining, or like at least cloudy or foggy. So
Oh, it sounds like Scotland to me.
yeah,
It does. It does.
yes, exactly.
Oh, wow. So that kind of atmosphere, environment, you kind of need that moisture
Yes,
and that dense kind of watery environment to create great whiskey.
yes.
Oh, interesting. What about this Mizunara barrel?
Oh, so Mizunara barrel is also Mizunara is we say Japanese oak.
Mhm.
It's kind of one type of the oak. It grows very slowly. Usually, like American oak, like for the bourbon productions, they can use like 80 to like 100 years old American oak cask to make the whiskey barrel. But in the other hand, Mizunara we have to use like 250 or 300 years old Mizunara oak to make a barrel because it grows so slowly and it's very, very stiff. It's not easy to make the barrel because it's very hard to bend, first of all. So it's easy to leak. And but it gives very unique aroma to the whiskey.
Mm.
So we say like a sandalwood or like kind of the like I usually say Kara or like a joystick. That kind of oriental aroma is coming from the Mizunara, and we are the first whiskey producer. We start using the Mizunara cask.
Wow. So Yamazaki whiskey or Suntory whiskey uses Mizunara, Japanese oak,
Yes.
Mizunara oak to create barrels and these oaks are 250 years old.
Yeah. So actually, we are using 4 different types of oak. So American oak, we are importing the barrel from the States, and we are also using the cherry oak from Spain, and then we are also using the French oak barrel from French, and then also we are using the Japanese oak. So we are using very different types of barrel, but yeah.
And
Mizunara is very unique.
that creates the taste that
Yes.
we're tasting right now. Okay.
Those are the
great.
fine details that and the
Wow.
love and the attention to detail that goes into making these fine whiskeys and
Yeah.
that you can taste. That
Exactly. Especially the unique things for our whiskey making is we are making very diversified whiskey by ourselves. So, which means, for example, Scotland, there are like so many different types of whiskey distilleries, and then they have like their own house style, like smoky whiskey, floral whiskey, light whiskey, and then bottling company can just purchase and procure from the whiskey from different types of the whiskey from very different types of the distilleries. But in Japan, as I said, we are the like oldest whiskey distillery, and now there's a lot, but like almost like 80 years or like from 1923 to like almost 2000, we are maybe very few of the Japanese whiskey distilleries. So we should make different whiskey, everything by ourselves. So those kind of details. So if we like to make the heavy whiskey, we have to make it by ourselves. If we would like to have light whiskey, we have to make it everything by ourselves, and we blend it. So those kind of detail or like attention to perfection is matters, I think, to the taste.
incredible.
Okay, I think we're going to go to a break. We shall be right back.
Okay. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Kimi Kato Show.